Ever get one of those messages? You know, the kind that just seems too good to be true, like promising you easy money, barely any effort. Well, that's what we're diving into today. Those offers that they seem tempting, but they can quickly turn into a financial nightmare. We're going to break down, dissect a real-life online scam that cost someone almost everything they had saved up, all from clicking on something they thought was, a harmless job offer.
And what's really interesting about this particular case is how it shows you exactly how these scams work, psychologically speaking.
Oh, yeah.
It's not just about being gullible or not knowing tech. It's about how these scammers, they use our own desires and our vulnerabilities against us.
Yeah, absolutely. The source material today is a YouTube video in the description called "How Not to Be Scammed: A Critical Tale of Deception," and the subtitle is "90% of My Life Savings Gone." And in it, the creator, they share their personal story about being scammed, and it's a really powerful reminder that this can happen to anyone, really.
Oh, yeah. It just shows how important it is to be, informed and aware, especially these days online.
Right, exactly. So, okay, let's unpack this. So picture this. You're scrolling through your messages, right? And you see one that pops up. It offers like easy money. All you got to do is leave some Google reviews. Sounds kind of tempting, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Well, that's how this whole thing started for the person in this video. They got a message totally out of the blue from someone calling themselves Anna, who promised them like quick cash just for a few, positive reviews.
And that right there, that's classic bait. It's a tactic that scammers use all the time. They offer this like really attractive thing, easy money to get you interested, to bring your guard down. They're playing on that that very human desire for shortcuts, getting something for nothing.
Exactly. And to make it seem even more legitimate, Anna offered to pay $5 up front just as like a little proof.
And you might think, $5, that's nothing. But here's the thing. Even a tiny investment, something that seems insignificant, it can actually change your whole mindset. It's like they get their foot in the door. You start to feel like subconsciously, you got to give something back. You're more likely to do what they ask after that.
Yeah, it's like they say, there's no such thing as a free lunch, right?
Exactly.
Or in this case, a free $5. So the person in the video, they're thinking, what have I got to lose? They give their payment info, because that's where they're expecting to get their $5, right? But that's when things start to get a little fishy.
And that's where you see this gradual escalation thing happening. The scammer starts asking for more things, little by little. Each request seems to make sense at the time, right?
Yeah.
So it's harder to see the bigger picture, that something's wrong.
Makes sense. So instead of receiving their $5 payment, Anna tells them, oh, the payment can only go through if you have accounts with these certain banks. And they're all, big, well-known banks that most people have. So no red flags there. But then Anna says they have to download this app, Telegram. For those who don't know, it's basically like WhatsApp, instant messaging.
Again, that's a very thought-out move.
Yeah.
By this point, the victim, they've already put in some time and they've given up some info,
Yeah.
even if it's just like which bank they use. So they're less likely to back out now, right? They feel like they're already invested in this whole thing.
They're hooked.
Yeah.
So they download Telegram thinking it's just like another step. But once they're in the app, the requests start to get a little weird, clicking links, taking screenshots, that kind of stuff. They even have to talk to someone who says they're a receptionist, who gives them codes to move on.
Adding that receptionist is smart. It creates this image of a bigger operation, makes it seem more legit. It's all about building up this facade, like they're part of a real company, professional, organized, all that.
Right, like they're trying to mimic a real company, which probably makes it feel more believable for the victim, right? It doesn't feel like they're just talking to some random person online anymore.
Exactly. And all these things, that small investment, the requests that slowly get bigger, the setup that seems legit, it's all planned out to build trust and make the unusual seem normal. It's like they're slowly reeling them in, Each step seems normal, so the victim, they don't really stop and think about what's really going on.
Like they're being tricked into this false sense of security, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
So they're on Telegram now, they've talked to the receptionist, and that's when the real scam starts. Instead of, just leaving reviews, the tasks completely change. Now it's all about, get this, helping traders stabilize currencies.
See, and that's where it escalates. They bring in this whole financial element, appealing to that initial investment the victim made. And of course, that desire for even bigger rewards. The promise of easy money is still there, but now it's tied to something that sounds way more complex, potentially way more profitable.
And Obviously, these trading tasks, they involve transferring larger and larger amounts of money.
Of course.
So the victim starts getting suspicious. They're asking, like, why do I have to prepay? And they're expressing concern about the amounts of money involved.
Rightfully so.
Yeah, you can practically hear their gut screaming at them like, this isn't right.
That's that inner voice, And a lot of times that skepticism, that's enough to make someone walk away. But these scammers, they've got an answer for everything. They introduce a new character, the mentor.
Ah, okay, so they got backup. So who's this mentor supposed to be?
Well, they usually present them as like a super experienced trader who's going to guide the victim through everything, offer reassurance, keep them motivated. They might even brag about their own supposed success stories. I was once in your shoes, that kind of thing.
Oh.
It's all about building up their credibility.
Playing on those emotions, right. The victim's probably feeling anxious, but also kind of excited. And this mentor swoops in with promises of big rewards if they just hang in there.
Exactly. And to make things seem even more legit, create what we call social proof, they add the victim to a group chat with other participants.
Okay, social proof, that's a new one. What's that mean?
So social proof is basically this psychological thing where people are more likely to do something if they see other people doing it too. Like, think about it. You're more likely to try a new restaurant if it's packed, right?
Right, yeah.
Same idea here. Seeing other people seemingly killing it with this trading thing, it makes it feel more real, less risky to the victim. Except, here's the kicker. The scammers, they often create fake accounts in these groups.
Wait, really?
Oh, yeah. Some of them act like newbies, just like the victim, asking basic questions, acting all excited. And then others, they act like expert traders, bragging about how much money they're making. It's all about creating FOMO, fear of missing out.
Wow. So they're basically controlling everything, making it seem like everyone's winning except the victim. That's messed up.
Exactly. It's all manipulation, all designed to push the victim into taking even bigger risks. And this leads us to the next stage of the scam. They tell the victim to make a trade using a specific cryptocurrency, but they end up using the wrong one.
Wait, so they messed up. I don't know. I have a feeling this wasn't just an accident.
You're picking up what I'm putting down. This mistake is often totally intentional. It's what we call a manufactured crisis. By creating this sense of urgency, this panic, the scammers, they make the victim way more vulnerable to being manipulated. When we're stressed out, scared, irrational thinking, it kind of goes out the window.
Right, like their emotions are running high. They're not thinking straight.
Exactly. And that's when they hit them with the next level of deception, this whole made-up credit score system.
A credit score? What for? It's not like they're applying for a credit card.
Yeah, you'd think so, right?
Yeah.
But the scammers, they know that a credit score, it sounds official, kind of scary. They tell the victim, look, because you made this mistake, you've messed up your credit score. And they say this score, it affects their funds. It might even stop them from taking their money out.
So now not only have they maybe lost money, but it's their fault too. That's got to be tough.
It's all part of the plan. They want the victim feeling stuck, desperate for a way out. And of course, guess what? The scammers, they have the solution, but it'll cost them.
Oh, I bet I know where this is going. They say they can fix the credit score, but only if the victim sends more money.
Bingo. The final act, right? They're taking advantage of the victim's desperation. They just want their money back to fix this mess they were tricked into making in the first place.
Man, it's got to be so frustrating knowing you were played, but still feeling like you have to go along with it.
It really shows you how powerful these psychological tricks are. The scammers, they create this whole situation, this pressure, this fear. It can cloud anyone's judgment.
So did they pay the person in the video?
They did, unfortunately. Even though they were getting more and more suspicious, they felt like they were trapped, like there was no other choice.
And the scammers, I'm guessing, they took the money and ran. Classic.
Yep. The victim lost a huge chunk of their savings. It's a harsh reminder that these things can happen to anyone, no matter how smart you are, no matter how tech-savvy you think you are.
It's a scary thought for sure, but at least this person, they shared their story as like a warning to others. They put some key takeaways in the video description, right?
Yeah, and those are so important. First and foremost, if something sounds too good to be true, it probably is. Don't let the promise of easy money make you forget to think clearly.
Easier said than done, though, right? When you're being bombarded with all these promises of, get rich quick, all that.
Oh, for sure. That's why it's so important to take your time, do your research, be careful about any offers that come out of nowhere, especially if they want you to send money.
So What should someone do if they're not sure about something?
Simple walk away. It's way better to miss out on something that could be fake than to fall for a scam. And remember, you're not alone. If you have even a little bit of doubt, talk to someone. A friend, family, financial advisor, anyone you trust.
Yeah, sometimes just saying it out loud can help you see things more clearly.
Definitely. And if you realize you are caught up in something suspicious, don't hesitate to report it.
That's huge. These scammers, they win when people stay quiet. If we report these things, it can help stop other people from becoming victims.
Exactly. It's about protecting ourselves and each other.
This whole deep dive has been, well, really eye-opening. We've learned how these online scams work, the psychology behind them, and how to protect ourselves, which is the most important part.
So remember, stay informed, trust your gut, don't be afraid to ask questions. It could save you a lot of trouble.
Couldn't agree more. And on that note, we'll leave you with this. If you were in this situation, what would you have done differently? Until next time, stay curious, stay vigilant, and stay safe.